like or sounds like to you in the classroom. What do you think about that? This group is going to do it in blue first. You can see you have blue pens. And this group will do it in green first. The second part of it, they will do, after you've written what you think it looks like and sounds like in the classroom, what's your role as the teacher when it comes to inquiry-based teaching and learning? Okay? What's your role? What do you have to do to get that done? Any questions about that? Got it? All right. Here we go.
So I want to help them when they're making mistakes. It's too hard to sit back and let them just make a crack. And it doesn't work. But then where is the learning? Because they're getting input from me.
You're not seeing your class.
Alright, let's go ahead and stop there. Sorry. What I'd like you to do now is go ahead and choose somebody. This is always fun. Somebody to share out, say your three. Just you can choose three. It doesn't mean your group voted on it, but three that you spent the most time talking about in each category. So, what does it look like? What does inquiry look like or sound like in the classroom? Let's differentiate between what does it look like and what does it sound like, and let's try to hit a couple of each.
Okay, for our look like we have a picture. So I'll just let you observe the groups there for our picture. And then another look like one is the wonder wall. I think that has a big one in your room that I saw before. It's cool and I like that idea. And here, here's kind of sounds like have lots of talking. It tends to be a lot easier. When we're on to the teachers as well.
Okay. I want to point out one thing that I noticed on there. It's just the word why. Yeah, that why is just hopefully coming up again and again. Yeah, and I think as the teachers in inquiry, you're not responsible to know everything the students are going to learn. In many cases, you're going to learn right along with them. I mean, that's part of the inquiry. They may have a path that you're not familiar with, and being comfortable with that unknown, and being comfortable with not being the one leading it. Learning from the kids is something that can be very challenging for some teachers who've taught differently for many years.
And every art class, no way it is. Right down grade one, I'll say, how'd you do that? How'd you get that? The techniques, I said, what you either get them to show me what they've done, because I'm going to look. It's back in here now, I remember it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Always, even big ones, we got some cool things going on. So.
Okay, we're going to switch gears. Those are wonderful. While you're working on the next aspect of this session, we'll get those up on the wall so you can reflect on them later. As you can see, magically, while you were discussing, some, I guess we could call them topics or concepts, appeared on the walls. You're now going to break into groups of three. Okay, I'm going to give you a sheet that has 3 names on it. Those are going to be your partners. These are going to be your partners. This is by chance giving the name, that's giving it to the person with the name at the top of the sheet. And those are in no order of importance or anything else, not by age, not by anything else. So, and then within what you're going to do now is I'm going to give you a set. Each team is going to have a set of sentence strips. And you're going to walk around and take a look at these with your group and try to figure out which sentence strips are applicable to which one of these topics. Okay? And you're going to do your best. First, I would suggest you walk around and take a look at all of them so you know what the differences are. And then go through these. Each team has 9. And put them where you think they fit. Alright? So,
just as a point of note, they're not in the back part of the room, they're just around this view, basically. It's not just too complex today, right?
And I'll give you some blue tack. Who should be trusted? Who should be trusted with the blue tack? topics on this side of the room and talk with your group about whether or not you see similarities or the possibility of a pattern or a grouping system for this side and a grouping system for this side. And if you do see something they have in common, what is it?
Yes, babe.
Yes.
Yeah.
And those three. If you do see something in common, what is it that you see? Is there something that ties them together? Connected would probably be the word we use in the BYP. Is there a connection? Get to you in just a second. All right, somebody, Tara, you want to go ahead and share out what you're thinking?
Content and
Environment.
Okay, which one's environment? Okay, so this side's environment, you think? And what do you think over here?
Is the content for the actual teaching
Okay, teaching materials. Do you guys have any thoughts on what the two sides might be, how that be separated out? The side of the teachers. And this is what the class, okay. Yeah, both of those are pretty close. In making these subtitles here, we actually cut out the first couple of words from the document we're using. Over here on this side, the word that's cut out of these is the word teacher. So for example, teachers model behavior and skills. Teacher as facilitators. Teachers as multiple means, teachers use multiple means of assessment. Over here, anybody think they know the exact
Connection.
what word?
Communication.
How many words is it?
Two words.
Student environment.
Students, correct?
Environment.
It's close. Students.
Let me start with.
Students work. Yeah, actually it's more than two words in some cases. So it's students work in a variety of configurations to encourage communication. Students work in appropriate and supportive emotional environment. And the last one over here is students work in a supportive physical environment. Okay? Now, there's good news and bad news. Good news is there are quite a few that are in the correct place. The bad news is there are quite a few that aren't in the correct place. So, in your groups, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a list, and you're each going to be somewhat evenly divided. And I'm going to go around and grab the ones that are incorrect and put them in the correct spots. And some of these look like they might be able to go in 2, sometimes 3 spots, but I want you to see at least what the document has dictated are the correct places for these. So, with your group, if you have a name tag that had a 3 on it, which is here, you guys can put those in the correct spots. You'll notice some check marks on that one, and you're going to notice very quickly what that means. Your group 1, if you could put these, so go through and check and see if you can tell.
With your group. With your group. You don't have to go alone.
Was.
This is the group. This is here.
So what should be there?
Maybe it's fine to see what we're supposed to pull.
We're supposed to change this and then see if we have some that are correct on ours. You always look at other groups and say, hey, how do you know which one was on this? Ultimately, we want to have them all correct. So you are going to communicate with the other groups. You may find some extras on there. If there are extras, take them off of this.
I put it in. Right now, switch colors of pens. So please go ahead and write down anything new that you have on the green post on both sections of this worksheet. I'm going to take blue over to the other one. So, is there anything that you've noticed from this one that's more than what you had written?
to your poster now that you've taken a look at what's on the walls and all these things there. All right, this group. Thank you, America. This group. Somebody else share out for us? Didn't share out last time.
We're sharing what we've added.
Yeah, what did you add?
What we've added, so we had our little picture of the teacher on the outside and the children interacting there. So what we added to the children was smiling faces and hearts. To say that in order for that to work well, the kids need to be confident and comfortable with the process of working together. And strong self-esteem to kind of make it work.
It sounds like you're talking about the emotional environment being part of what it sounds like.
Yeah, I mean that with the
encouraging
communication and that emotional environment.
Yes.
Sort of confident, comfortable words. And then next to the teacher's side, we've written differentiate.
Okay.
Why did we write that?
Because it's conservative levels and inquiry process and thinking about following different assessment according to what they're watching.
Yeah, and then we added that idea of modeling behaviors and skills that comes from the teacher. We didn't get to talk about it, but I imagine it's quite difficult. That's probably the most challenging task.
Yeah.
Because in order to get those confident, comfortable students, the teacher himself needs to be confident and comfortable himself.
And they're always watching. It's
Yeah.
not so important. What you're doing with one student may not be as important as how other students who are watching you interact with that student is.
Yeah.
When it comes to respecting students, when it comes to allowing them to do things. Yeah, they're learning more from how you're treating the other students you're talking to than they are when you're talking to them. So that's really important. You're not talking to those students most of the day. All right, let's move on to the next part. In football, I've asked best, and the proper term is we're into extra time. So now what we're going to move on to is something called something called Connect, Extend, and Challenge. The box that's on your desk, you've all been given 3 sticky notes. What we're talking about here is to connect. We're going to ask you to, on each one of these sticky notes, just write an idea or 2 that you've gotten out of this session. Is there anything, how are the ideas and the information presented connected to what you already do? So that'll go on one sticky note. How's it connected? The next thing is extend on a different sticky note. What new ideas did you get that extended or pushed your thinking in new directions? And then challenge. What's still challenging or confusing for you to get your mind around? What questions, wonderings, or puzzles do you now have? As this elicited new questions about inquiry-based teaching and learning. Okay? So each one of these will go on sticky note. Sticky note will go over here, and that's your ticket out.